Brian, mate, it's a pleasure to meet you.
You too, thank you.
Just saw the fantastic new 3D animated short film, One Night in Hell. Could you give us a brief synopsis of how it all came together, please?
Guy goes to hell and plays some music. That's the synopsis. Well, it's based on the 1860s phenomenon of Diableries, which is devilments, and it was created in France in Victorian times and was a sensation at the time. All these little devils and skeletons doing strange things in hell. There were a series of stereo cards which I've been collecting for 40 years, and I've always been fascinated. I always wanted to bring them to life in the 21st century, so this is part of that dream, part of making that dream happen.
Yeah, and I mean, and this process itself, how did you become involved in the film version, as it were, prior to the...
Paul came to me, he'd seen the book. We published the book a couple of years ago, a year ago I guess, called Diableries, and it's for the first time a complete collection of all these stereo cards featuring the skeletons and the devil himself and whatever, and it's life in hell. Paul saw the book, came to me and said, I want to make the movie, I want to bring this wonderful universe to life. So we set about it, and it was only a year ago. So we really moved very fast, and his team have been amazing. We've been very interactive along the way, but a lot of the storylines came from them.
Yeah, no, the animation is absolutely fantastic, and as a storyline, it's just very short, obviously, yeah. one part two, as it were. Yeah. But how did you approach the making of the music to it?
You know, as most things that work, it happened very quickly and organically. I just heard it in my head. I had the 1812 overture in my head. It started off with the Marseillaise, which the 1812 quotes, and also I could hear my own "We Will Rock You" in there somehow, and in my fevered imagination they all blended into one. So we just did it. I went to Prague, and we had the Prague Symphony Orchestra there, and we played the 1812 with "We Will Rock You," and I knew what I was aiming for. I mean, I knew what the story of the film was by then, and of course the story is built around the music. It's a bit like early Disney, isn't it? I think they used to do the soundtrack first and then build the film around it. Well, it's a bit of each in this case.
Yeah, was that quite a simple process then, or was that just a day-long recording process, or was
just
it...
Just a day.
Yeah.
I just had a day recording, and then I did a bit more in my studio at home, working on the guitars.
Well, great stuff, it worked very well. Is that the only new material you've been working on? Anything Queen-based, apart from the new album coming out, obviously?
I'm always doing something. You know, I wear many hats, and there's always a passion inside me, I suppose. You know, one day it can be for Diableries, and this has been a long passion. One day it can be for music, and I guess both of those are in this. One day it will be trying to be a voice for animals, and one day it will be astronomy, because astronomy is part of my life as well. And I became a doctor eventually in astrophysics.
Yeah, no, absolutely incredible journey of life, that's for sure. Do you think that the main songwriting process has remained the same over all these years, or has it changed in time?
Songwriting is a very mysterious thing. I don't think any of us know really where it comes from. It's such a mixture of things. Things sort of come at your brain, and some of them are things which you've heard, some of them are things which you perhaps would like to hear, and it's hard to tell the difference. Sometimes you just find yourself with a phrase and a little piece of music in your head, and you don't know where it's come from, and you go through this thing of, did I hear that yesterday, or did this actually come from somewhere else? And if the song means something to you, without thinking, you're putting yourself in there, and I think every songwriter is doing that. Even songs that you might think are quite trivial, there is usually some agenda in the songwriter. There is something in his mind or in his heart which he wants to put forward to the rest of humanity, and he does it in the song, whether he realizes it or not. So songwriting to me is a very mysterious thing, and it is very revealing of the writer.
Yeah, who do you look up, well, not look up to, but...
Oh, John Lennon, and Paul McCartney, and Bob Dylan, a lot of people really. I mean, the ABBA guys have written some incredible melodies, sorry, not memories. I'm very appreciative of people who can actually write a tune, because a lot of people are very good at arrangement, and they can play good and whatever, they can make a sort of rousing noise, but actually writing a spectacularly good tune that lives on forever is difficult. doesn't happen very often, and those ABBA guys did it a lot.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
You know, whether you think they're too poppy or not, there's a lot of snobbery around that. A lot of people think ABBA is pop, and this is rock. Well, we're rock, I suppose, but to me, a good tune is something pretty important, and without a good tune, you can only go so far.
Yeah, yeah. Who's these days, do you think, writing good tunes? The young, younger
There's a lot of good creative
generation.
people out there. It's difficult to say. The Foo Fighters in their way. They are very rousing, if you like. Very heavy, whatever. But there are very good tunes there.
Definitely.
And that's why they connect. The songs are good. They relate to people's feelings. But there's also something which people can sing, and when they sing it, they're expressing themselves and their inner anger or sadness or joy. It's a communication music.
Fantastic. Well, thanks a lot for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to say to music news watchers and film news watchers regarding the film, as it were?
I'd like to say Happy Halloween, and I hope you enjoy seeing this. We're on Sky Arts on Halloween night, so maybe you'll catch us there. But in general, enjoy, and life is short, and who knows what happens afterwards. Maybe you'll find out if you watch One Night in Hell.